Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Es un buen día. It's a buen dia. I mean, it's a good day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm out for my morning walk. My morning talk. You know, they say I'm crazy. They're like, yo, can you hear the voice of God? Do you talk to God? Do you hear God? I tell them, yeah, I walk with God. I talk with God. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that. They say, well, you must be crazy. You need to take this pill because you think you can talk to God and hear God. I'm like, in America? In America? In a land that was created based on the idea that we got the right to worship whoever we want to, the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech together, and on the money, or I'm sorry, the debt note, it says, in God we trust. In America? You telling me I'm crazy if I say I can walk with God and talk with God? In America? Okay. Anyway, that seems to be a little incongruent. It doesn't line up. It doesn't match up. Something is awry. Something doesn't quite match up. It's confusing. It's causing confusion. It has me confused. In America? One nation? Under who? Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Incongruency. I guess that's my thought of the day this morning is incongruency. And man, I didn't do a studying like I was supposed to do. I was supposed to look this up because I kind of forget. You know, I know there's examples of incongruency. One of those examples was Gideon. Pretty sure it was Gideon. It was Gideon. What was he doing? I think he was at the threshing floor. He was at the threshing floor, and no. He was at the wine press, and he was threshing wheat because I think there was hunger going on or something, or I don't know. There was a lot going on. There was some controversy. There was some circumstances that were hard to deal with. So that had Gideon doing something that didn't match up. It didn't line up. He was incongruent. You know, threshing this wheat at the wine press. I think that's what he was doing. I think he was threshing wheat at the wine press, or he was pressing wine at the threshing floor. One of them. He was mixed up. It was mixed up. He wasn't doing in the place what you would normally do at that place. He was doing something else. It was incongruent. And incongruency, man, that's gonna come up, man. I'm the type of person. I'm not OCD, maybe a little bit OCD, but I like order. I like things to match up. I like, cleanliness. And sometimes chaos, it bothers me, man. It bothers me. Like I have to get away from it. Like, if I'm in an environment that's like too disarranged, I have to get away from this shit and go. I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta go somewhere where there's some order and I can just sit and I just have peace of mind. Just sigh. Yes, I just need. I gotta get away. I gotta get away for a minute because there's too much chaos going on. And it's affecting my mind. I need order around me. But sometimes you just got to deal with the incongruency, because everything's not going to line up. Everything's not going to be symmetrical. Everything's not going to be on the square or just lined up. I hate I even use that term, on the square. I know where that comes from, and I don't associate with that. But anyway, it just, yeah, everything's not going to be just perfectly lined up. Yeah, that was an example, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord showed up to Gideon as he was doing this thing, this incongruent, and you know, the story is written. You can read about that in this book called the Holy Bible. It's in the stories in there of what I'm speaking of. And then there's another story. There's another story about incongruency. And there's a point to this. I'm gonna get to the point in a minute. The point is, I ain't gonna get to the point just yet. But I'm gonna get to the point. And you know, you ever know how you can feel somebody watching you and stuff? Like, I just look back, and it's like somebody back there just came out the house. They're staring at me. Ain't that something? That you just feel somebody looking at you and stuff? Like, it's just funny, man. I told you, it's like light. You know what I'm saying? Light being observed. The observer changes the thing that's being observed. So now my conversation just changed based on me being observed and realizing that I was being observed. And so there you go again. You know what I'm saying? God said, let there be light. And then the universe created you. All right. So that lines up. That's not incongruent with my message. All right. So that was good. You know, everything is perfectly on time. And that's what you got to understand. Even when it seems that things are incongruent in your life, everything's working out as it should. Okay? And I'll give you another example. When Israel they were allowed to go back to rebuild Jerusalem again because of a certain king. I think his name was it Cyrus? I don't know. One of the kings of Babylon, he was actually touched. He was actually touched by the Most High, because you know, God is able to do that. He can touch anybody. He can touch anybody, anything. He can be anywhere at any time. That's omnipresence. That's omniscience. That's omnipotence. That's all powerful. That's the God I'm talking about. The God whose name means I am that I am. So everywhere, and anything that you can think of, anything that you can look at, you talk about what the matrix is. I'll tell you what the matrix is. We have our existence, our movement and our being in Him. That's the highest matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's an infinite matrix that we exist in, and if you're really seeing through the matrix, you find out that our whole existence is within the Most High God. That's the matrix. It's not that evil thing that the movie is talking about. That's a much smaller matrix than the one that truly exists. It's much bigger than that. That's how Neo was able to touch those machines. That's how he was able to touch those machines outside of the matrix, right? Because there's a higher energy, there's a higher connection, a hidden energy and connection that's beyond, so far beyond just what the program, the computer. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's why Neo was the one. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I love what Morpheus said. He said, "You think that's air you're breathing in this place?" Anyway, so that was a good movie, man. But the lessons are everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The lessons you gotta look for. You know what I'm saying? The son did the same thing. The son, he was able to look at the things around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at this concrete right here. I look at that tree right there. If I just stare at that all day, You know what I'm saying? I can learn something about the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's simple. Okay, it's so simple that it's complex. Okay, it's so complex that it's just simple. Okay, as it is in the high, so it is in the low. Let's get back to the incongruency. You know, Israelites, they got back to the holy city, and they're like, well, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna rebuild this wall. We're gonna start right here. But there's you know, the situation was hard. And when the situation is hard, sometimes you're gonna find that there's incongruency. There's incongruency in your life when you're trying to build, but the situation is hard. That's why you can't pay attention to those circumstances. You pay attention to what is, then you know what? That's right, you're gonna get more of what is. Okay? You have to have the vision to see beyond what is. Okay? The vision is twofold. Because I can look at what is and I can learn from it. I look at this rock pile and I see that, you know what, this rock pile is gonna remain a rock pile unless I have the vision to pour some concrete here and let it solidify and let it be smooth. Let it be smoothed out. Or I hire somebody else to do it for me because I don't want to do it myself. Right? So they were rebuilding this wall, but it was a dangerous situation. There was still danger going on. So they had to do something that was incongruent. They had to be building at the same time, be prepared for war, be prepared for someone to sneak up on them. So they had a sword in one hand and they were building with the other. Okay, you got a sword on your side, and they all had this going on. We got a sword on our side, and we're building this wall. You know, situations incongruent, but you only had a few workers, so you had to do what you had to do. Sometimes when you don't have the human resources, to use that word, or you don't have the network of individuals who are willing to put in the energy, the time, effort to build that thing, things might look a little incongruent in your life. Okay? So it may not look like what it's going to look, what you want it to look like at the end. But my name is Ben Shalem. I learned everything from King Solomon. Well, not everything, but I learned a lot from King Solomon. And he said the end of the thing is better than the beginning. And the end of the thing is better than the beginning. Now, that just makes common sense, right? But you really gotta think about it. It's so simple that it's complex. A lot of people can't get to the end because the beginning looks so hard. The beginning looks like so much hard work. Okay, but you gotta focus on the end. It's the end that you gotta keep in mind. You gotta keep in mind the end. You gotta visualize the end. You gotta have a vision. My people perish for a lack of vision. Okay? So you need a vivid, clear picture of what the end looks like. No matter what the beginning looks like. Okay? The end of a thing is better than the beginning. That's King Solomon. That's in Proverbs. Okay? So, yeah. Alright. That's incongruency. It's incongruency all over in America, man. The image of the black man. What they, what's said, what you might be growing up with, what they say about the black man being violent and aggressive when That ain't the truth, man. That's the image that's in the news. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you the truth. That is not the case. You know what I'm saying? Who's really committing the violent crimes out here? You know what I'm saying? Who's really getting gunned down? Who really creates guns? You know what I'm saying? Who really lives by the sword? You know what I'm saying? You gotta examine, you gotta think. Like, who really studies war? You know what I'm saying? I study war just to study war no more. You know what I'm saying? Just to find out the truth. You know what I'm saying? I joined the army just to study peace. You know what I mean? I joined the army, I quit. I joined another army. You know what I'm saying? I found out there was a captain of hosts. There was the Lord of hosts who had more fire, more troops, more chariots than can be counted. So you know, and there's more power, there's more force, more arms. But here's the beautiful thing about it, is that with all that power, the real power is that he shows restraint. He's long suffering, and he could do away with his enemies like that. But he shows restraint, gives them chance after chance, right? Now that's power. That's power. So you gotta learn from that. You gotta learn from that. Fire. It's fire, man. They gonna know. They gonna know what that means one day. Yeah. So, as you're trying to build your dreams, don't worry about the circumstances. Don't worry about the situation. Don't worry about appearances. The circumstances don't define a thing except what was in the past. Current circumstances only indicate what happened in the past. That's old data. That's old news. You got to upgrade your data. Seize the data. You got to seize the day. Okay. Don't worry about yesterday. But each day has enough troubles of its own. Each day has enough troubles of its own. Okay? And I ain't just talking about your troubles. There's a lot of people around you got troubles. If you learn to be of service, okay, he who is greatest in the kingdom shall be a servant of all. Okay, it's enough troubles. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta remix and mix them scriptures, right? You got to put them together, line upon line and precept upon precept. Okay, you got to mix them up to really understand the message. Okay, he who is least in the kingdom. No. Yeah. He who is greatest in the kingdom shall be servant of them all. Okay, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. But each day, you know what I'm saying, tomorrow will take care of itself. You worry about today, and today has enough troubles of its own. So who can you be of service to today? Because if you go solve somebody else's problems, guess what? Somehow, some way, it's just going to so happen to work out that your problems will end up getting solved too. Because you've been of service to somebody else. And guess what? God said don't cover the mouth of a mule if it's working. So that, you know what I'm saying, you've been a cheapskate and don't want to feed it. No. If it's working, that mule is working, that ass is working, it's deserving of its pay. It deserves its compensation. Okay? So if he feels that way about an animal, about a mule, an ass, a donkey, or whatever animal it was that was helping to plow the earth, if he feels that way about an animal, And you were creating his image after his likeness, so that he is concerned about you. How much more you think he's going to reward you for you getting out there and doing your work? Okay? And you go ahead and you name your price, right? Name your price of what it is that you want, what you desire, because the work is plenty, but the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. So it's people out here that are looking for someone to be of service, and God is seeking such as these that will be of service. So it works on many levels. You know what I'm saying? This word, it will not come back to you empty if you put your words out there, you put your words together on what you want. You know what I'm saying? Or what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Put those words together, put them down, write them down on paper. Write them down and look at them. Put them up where you can see them every single day. This is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna take place. Just put some words together and put them in faith and believe in those words and be passionate about those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put down what you really, really, really desire and just keep on reciting it to yourself until you believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason that belief and faith is emphasized in that word. You know what I'm saying? And then once you believe it, guess what? You put some energy into it. You'll start working on it. Faith without works is dead. But you put two together, faith with works, and guess what? Man, you might build yourself a life. Funny how that works. Okay. All right. Let's see, did I leave anything out? I don't know, man. It's cold out here. I'm about to go home. It's cold. Nose starting to run. Yeah, man. No sugarcoating. I'm just giving it to you raw. Like this. It's the real. Yo, it's the real. It's the raw uncut. Having OD, but it's never enough. Yo, it's the real. Hot damn hole. Here we go again. Woo. Okay. I got singing Tourette's and rappers Tourette's. You know, I grew up on hip hop. Hip hop developed a negative into a positive picture. Lauryn Hill said that. She said that. That's my empress. That's my empress right there. Hey, Lauren. I love her. Let me see. Talked about the incongruency building. No matter the circumstances, what it looks like, you got to plant that seed, cover it up. You got to nurture it. You know what I'm saying? That's those words. You know what I'm saying? Those words you put together. Once you plant that seed, you got to take care of your little baby, man. Your dream, whatever your dream is, that's your little baby. You got to take care of it. You got to nurture. You got to give it water. You just keep watering that. It doesn't matter if you watering your fears or you watering your dreams. Something's gonna come to fruition from whatever it is you're watering. So you might as well focus on that dream. Because I tell you, if you focus on your fears, you're gonna make those come. You know what I'm saying? You focus on that dream, whatever you line up with, you're gonna be lined up with. You know what I'm saying? It's about decision. You know what I'm saying? It's back to light. It's back to light. You start out with infinite possibility, but at some point light has to make a decision if it's in that experiment. And make no doubt, you are being observed, you're being watched. You know what I'm saying? You got the angels in heaven that's watching you. You got the Most High God observing you. You got Yahushua, you got the Lamb. That Lamb is full of eyes. Like he's filled with eyes. He knows your whereabouts. He knows the heart of man. So I set before you this day life and death. Choose ye whom you shall serve. You got a decision to make. You know what I'm saying? That decision will lead you one way or another. And so that's all good, man. All right. And that's the word of the day. Peace out.